Before we begin, viewer discretion is strongly advised. The following is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Imagine a man whose towering frame and warm southern drawl have become as familiar to millions of Americans as the cozy clapboard houses he brings back to life. A man who doesn't just rebuild homes, he restores hope, one project at a time. That man is Ben Napier, the beloved face of HGTV's hit series Hometown. For over 7 successful seasons, Ben, alongside his equally talented and spirited wife Erin Napier, has quietly etched himself into the hearts of fans across the nation. They've taken the humble streets of Laurel, Mississippi, and transformed them into a national symbol of small-town renaissance, a place where heritage meets heart, and where every corner tells a story. But recently, this gentle giant has vanished from television screens. Fans are worried. The silence has grown deafening. Whispers of illness, personal tragedy, and unsettling events have started to circulate. What happened to Ben Napier? Why did the man who poured his soul into revitalizing forgotten homes suddenly disappear from public view? The story behind this mystery is layered, not just a tale of health battles or fame fatigue, but one of deeply rooted family values, spiritual struggle, public pressure, and a chilling incident that changed everything. This is not just a career update. This is a story of a man pulled between the warmth of his dreams and the darkness of reality. A story that reminds us fame may build homes, but it can also shake foundations. Ben Napier's journey didn't start in front of the cameras. Before the world knew him as the bearded craftsman turning decaying properties into dream homes, Ben was immersed in a very different calling, one that demanded not wooden nails but faith and sermons. Born into a devout Christian family, Ben was raised in a household where both of his parents were ministers. From an early age, he was taught to live a life of service, humility, and devotion. Religion wasn't just a part of life, it was life. As a young man, Ben naturally followed the spiritual path laid before him, becoming a youth minister in the Methodist Church. But beneath the surface, another passion was quietly growing, one that smelled of sawdust and fresh pine. Woodworking had always been in his blood. Even while working in the church, he'd spend weekends in his small workshop, turning discarded furniture and scraps into beautifully restored pieces. It was therapy, it was expression, and it was calling him louder every day. The real turning point came when he met Erin, a graphic designer with a sharp eye and a soul that mirrored his. Together, they didn't just fall in love, they built a love, brick by brick, shared passion by shared purpose. When HGTV came knocking with the idea for Hometown, they saw it not as a career opportunity but as a mission, to showcase the charm of Southern living, the power of restoration, and the importance of preserving culture and community. What began as a small-town show quickly blossomed into a nationwide phenomenon. Ben's easygoing nature, coupled with Erin's creativity, became the perfect duo. Fans were enamored, not just by the transformations, but by the wholesome, authentic energy the Napiers radiated. Yet, while cameras caught their smiles and handshakes, few knew about the personal battles Ben was fighting behind the scenes. Ben Napier's warm smile and bear-like hugs may have made him a comforting television presence, but as the years rolled by, his health began telling a different story. Always a big man, Ben had often joked about his size. But in private, his weight and physical condition had become a ticking time bomb. Years of intense manual labor, long hours on renovation projects, sleepless nights during filming, and the pressure of sustaining a brand as beloved as Hometown began taking a visible toll. By 2014, Ben's weight had skyrocketed, and he started facing serious health complications. Every morning became a challenge. The man who once lifted beams with ease now struggled with basic movements. But the real wake-up call wasn't a doctor's diagnosis, it was fatherhood. The moment he looked into his daughter Helen's eyes, everything changed. He realized that if he continued down this path, he might not be around long enough to walk her down the aisle or see her chase her dreams. That single thought pierced deeper than any health scare ever could. Ben made a radical shift. He adopted a disciplined routine, trading bacon for greens and installing a treadmill where he once kept his favorite tools. With sheer determination, he shed over 55 pounds. More importantly, he rediscovered energy and life. His story became an inspiration for many, proof that even the busiest, most burdened among us can choose transformation over resignation. Yet just as Ben was beginning to rebuild himself, a far darker threat was emerging, not from within, but from the outside world. Just as the Napier family began basking in the glow of success and newfound health, a shadow loomed over their lives that would forever change how they lived. At first, it seemed like a fluke, a strange man spotted near their house. Ben, always vigilant but rarely paranoid, brushed it off. But the encounters didn't stop. The man, in his 50s and reportedly from California, began showing up with increasing frequency. He dressed peculiarly, sometimes resembling a stormtrooper from Star Wars, and wore an ankle bracelet, hinting at some troubling legal history. He didn't just lurk, he fixated, especially on Ben's young daughter. The final straw came when this man, who barely had furniture in his rented home, showed up with toys specifically for Helen. That moment shattered every illusion of safety. He wasn't just a fan, he was a threat. Ben, known for his calm demeanor, was now gripped by a primal fear every parent knows: the fear of being unable to protect your child. Security was called in. The family began living under a watchful eye, and their cheerful home morphed into a guarded compound. The situation intensified when the man allegedly followed the family nanny during an outing and made inappropriate remarks in front of the children. Authorities were notified, and due to a flurry of community complaints, an official investigation began. The man vanished as mysteriously as he had arrived. But the emotional scars remained. Erin was 9 months pregnant at the time, and the stress nearly broke them. Since then, the Napier family has become fiercely private, rarely showing their children's faces and stepping away from certain public engagements. Fame had built them a platform, but it had also left their windows open to darkness. After surviving the terror of a stalker and weathering intense media attention, the Napier family hoped for peace. But fate wasn't done testing Ben just yet. Years of physically demanding carpentry caught up with him, and what began as a nagging shoulder ache evolved into a debilitating condition. Despite hoping it would heal on its own, the pain intensified. Eventually, it became so severe that Ben struggled to perform daily tasks. The man who built homes with his bare hands now couldn't lift them. Doctors diagnosed him with a severe bone spur and cartilage damage, making surgery not just necessary but urgent. The procedure was invasive. Surgeons had to shave down bone and repair damaged tissues. Recovery was grueling. Ben was bedridden for weeks, requiring physical therapy and constant support. But it was during this quiet, vulnerable time that Ben reconnected with something he had almost lost: gratitude. He realized that life doesn't wait for perfect timing. It tests you when you least expect it, and it's up to you to answer with strength or surrender. With the unwavering support of Erin, his daughters, and a dedicated team, Ben began his comeback. Slowly, he returned to the world of renovation, starting with small projects and eventually taking on full home transformations again. Today, though he's less frequently on talk shows or magazine covers, Ben is more fulfilled than ever. He's chosen balance over burnout, privacy over publicity, and meaning over momentum. His story serves as a powerful reminder: even the strongest among us need to pause, reflect, and rebuild. As fans, we often see only the edited, polished versions of our favorite stars. But Ben Napier's journey, filled with faith, fear, family, and fierce determination, shows us what it truly means to be human. So the next time you walk past a cozy home or smell the scent of fresh lumber, think of Ben. Not just as a TV host, but as a father, a fighter, and a man who chose love over fame and family over everything.